And hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality, and today I'm going to be breaking down and decoding the character Lucy. This is just a part 2 of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, but Lucy Decoded. We're going to get into on the world stage what Lucy means. We're going to get into the esoteric. We're going to bring it all together, and this is part 2. And I want to give a special shout out. I posted my Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds yesterday on a lot of sites. Some of you have seen them, and this was on Ancient Esoteric and Occult Wisdom. And it was Karen Way, thank you Karen if you're watching, that said, this was about Lucy in the Sky, the song off of Sgt Peppers of the Beatles album 1967. It was about John Lennon's son Julian and his childhood friend Lucy. So I started to research into that. That was the inspiration. And, it started off with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, of course. But then, Julian, if you go, and he's in this video, folks. Anyway, it's about his friend Lucy ODonnell. And we're going to get into that, folks. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into all this stuff, and I'm going to say once again that man is being used. I'm going to support it again and show you that man's not doing anything. And I get a lot of people, like, well, Logan, what do you think? What do you want? I don't know, folks. I don't know what to tell you. At what level? I don't know. Like, right now I'm doing this video, and did I make the decision to do the research, make the slides, and now here shooting this video talking to you? Or is something pulling the strings behind me that I can't see? I don't know. But nonetheless, I felt compelled to do it, and so here I am creating this video. So here are the topics we're going to be discussing during this presentation, folks. Folks, I promise you, you will get some amazing downloads and nuggets again to support what I'm saying. Number 1, who is Lucy? Number 2, Julian Lennon. Number 3, Lucifer. Number 4, Lupus, which is a disease. Number 5, the Songwriters of the song Lucy. Not Lucy in the Sky. Number 6, Lucy versus Sgt Pepper. And number 7, Lying Hidden. And of course, what did you see? The follow-up after the presentation. So it all starts with this woman right here, Lucy ODonnell. This is her. Notice she's a blonde. If you know anything about Lucifer, that should already tell you something. Those are subtleties. She died at the age of 46. And if you know what the number 46 is linked to, then you already have a head start. I'm not going to be doing any methods of decoding during this one, folks. This is just for my, returning subscribers. If you're new to this, just follow along. We're going to be putting a puzzle together. But she passed away at the age of 46. 46 is tied to the tree of life in the biblical sense, when you break it down through numerology. It's tied to palladium on the elements of the periodic table. It's tied to Lucifer, straight up. Let's break down her name in numerology. This is all I could find. Lucy ODonnell. The subtleties, folks. This is how it's spelled. The O and D are capitalized. That's why I've got them circled there. It's a 74. And of course, we know 74 is the number that's linked to illumination. 74 is also linked to Lucifer, because Lucifer equals the number 74. I mean, why are these capitalized and not anything else? So those are standouts. Notice her last name, ODonnell, is a 39. 39 is linked to the element yttrium, which is linked to the number 88. The abbreviation, the letter Y, as in the Yod, as in Yaldabaoth, as in the snake's tongue, deception. A lot of links with this element. 3 and 9 is the higher mind and the lower mind. Creation and death. And notice that the original spelling in Isaiah 14 verses 12, if you want to bring theology into this, the Old Testament, which was written by the Jewish faith, the Hebrews, it's 39. Lucifer's original spelling is 39. Linked to the element yttrium. Linked to the lady's last frickin' name. And I just threw this in there. I mean, this secret society right there, that's the reason why they have the links to them like that. 39. The word Microsoft. Bill Gates' Microsoft equals the number 39. 39 is a very powerful number. It's tied to the 88. So big tie-ins here, folks. Big tie-ins to start it out in this presentation. Let's go a little bit further. Extending on the skull and bones, shall we? Because it is 39 and it's a big player on the world stage. What about the string of pi? Where does the 39, where is that located in the string of pi, the perfect circle? That, folks, if you're not using pi in your decodes, I don't know what you're waiting for. Because pi can only be measured one way. There are not hundreds of numerology ciphers that have just come out of who the hell knows where, that everybody just loves to use. But pi, there's only one way to observe it. And you can tie it into numerology. I've shown this so much. 39 appears at the 43rd decimal digit. 43 and 44. Now I want you to notice that skull bones is 322. That's their number they go by, their flagship number. Look at the syncs on this. November 18th is the 322nd day of the year. That leaves 43 days remaining until the end of the year. Do you see why this has merit? That's why I feel the Chaldean is supreme. Because you're not going to find these syncs with using reverse and satanic and Kabbalah and all these crazy ones that I don't even know where they even came from. If you're a numerologist anyway. So right there, it's clear how strong that is, and it's tied to this lady's name. Now, some people will get crazy and fanatical and say, yeah, it was the skull and bones that killed Lucy ODonnell. She didn't die from lupus. She died, the skull and bones took her out. You see how easy you can convolute the story? And not everything is a freaking ritual, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of you think people die in sport. Everybody that dies in sports, it's a damn ritual. And like, oh, they were taken out. It was a sacrifice. Just because you can connect the dots with gematria. That's not the way it works, folks. So when you break this lady's name down in alchemology is taking the numerology output, getting the numbers, and then bringing the elements of the periodic table and connecting the dots. So Lucy ODonnell is a 12-letter word. Here are the 12 elements. 3631 747 55533. So there are the elements to match that. And then we want to add those up. And then it's going to give us an outcome. And I've shown this. I mean, go watch my video on the decoding of John Wick. And then let me know your thoughts on how accurate and important alchemology is. Why his name was Neo in the movie The Matrix. You'll see why. Then your jaw will be on the floor. This is this lady's output. 111.117. 111 is tied to the element antimony in numerology. I just included this one because it was the 39 right there, which is linked to this element yttrium right here, which is linked to her last name. And then 28, antimony's 28, Lucifer's 28. So we know, and then of course 1.21 gigawatts, a bolt of lightning, equals the number 111. It's tied to Yaldabaoth, folks. The Gnostic demiurge, Yaldabaoth, who is just an extension of the Lucifer character. But man's being used, folks. You don't get these outcomes and showing all the tie-ins there and say, I have a choice, like I'm doing it. How do you look at these syncs? How are you to wrap your mind around this? Beyond me. If I showed you my decodes, folks, I'd put you on the floor. I mean, maybe I'll do it one day. Anyway, Julian Lennon's the guy who wrote the song Lucy. He wrote a song Lucy in 2009. We're going to get into that, which was the inspiration for Lucy ODonnell. It was a childhood friend of his. Look at the guy's birthday. April 8th. The April 8th card in the Cards of Illumination is the frickin' 39th card, the King Diamonds card, which is linked to Yttrium itself. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. And this guy comes out and sings his own song about his childhood friend in 2009. And his birthday is the diamond card? You kidding me? But yeah, man's not being used. No, we're making all the decisions, and good luck with that theory. Here's the song that he came out with James Scott Cook. Here it is, the album cover. The story behind the album cover is absolutely mind-blowing itself. It was lost, the artwork, and then David Gilmour from Pink Floyd got it, and some crazy story. But nonetheless, he wrote this song and released it on 15th of December 2009. And what's fascinating about it, folks, December 15th is the 3 clubs card. And if you've watched my Decode on Lucifer Part 2, you know that Thomas John Ellis, the character that got casted for the show Lucifer on Netflix, his birthday, which is the 17th of November, is the same freaking card. The 3 clubs card. Matter of fact, even Jerry Bruckheimer, the executive producer of the show, has the 3 clubs card. How's that possible, folks? How are these birthdays? Not everybody has the 3 clubs birthday card. There's not many. And yet, the release date of the song, Lucy, is the same card as the guy that plays Lucifer, aka Lucy, in the Netflix show. Man is being used. We're being used. That's my best way of singing it. I mean, this is kind of apparent right here. The 15th card in the tarot is the Devil card. The Devil card. The Devil card. This one really blew me away, folks. Honestly. This lady, according to the tabloids, and that's all I can go off of, she died from lupus. Lucy. Lupus. Lucy. And folks, if you've been following my work, you know that one of Lucifer's elements is the 71st lutetium, which has an abbreviation of Lu. And this woman died of the disease lupus? Oh, I got so much more. Wait till I knock your socks off in the next coming slides. Look at this, folks. The word lupus is from the Latin word for wolf. And the 15th card in the medicine card deck is the wolf card. How about that? And it's tied to the Devil card, which is tied to the release date of the song that Julian Lennon wrote about this lady. You gotta ask yourself, what are the odds of all these matching up like this? How would it be possible for all these people to be in cahoots to have all these things connected the way they are? How is that possible? How could it be possible? Man's not doing anything. So look at this, lupus, okay? If you understand the disease, I know some people, I have some friends that have it. Lupus is an 89 in the English numerology cipher. 89 is one of the most powerful numbers that you can come across. It's a prime Fibonacci number, meaning it's the 24th prime number, and it's the 11th Fibonacci number. And in the string of pi, the 89 is found at the 11th decimal digit. Now, the number 24 is linked to the letter X, as in our X chromosomes. And I want you to read this really crystal clear here. Follow along when I say this. Lupus is a systemic autoimmune disease that occurs when your body's immune system attacks your own tissues and organs. Why is this relevant? And why is the 89 relevant? Because, folks, you see, the same can be said for an octopus. I came out with this slide, and now I know why I did. Probably came out a month ago with this. Yaldabaoth, the Gnostic demiurge, right here is the best rendition I've come. I don't know who the author is, but thank you for your contribution, because this is a great rendition of it. It's the Gnostic demiurge. In my opinion, it's the demiurge that runs this entire world. And Yaldabaoth is an 89, matching that of the word lupus. And what shows you that the game of life is fixed, folks, virus equals the number 89. And I want you to read this now. Octopuses can sometimes suffer from autophagy or self-cannibalism. That is what is described as eating its own arms. This is caused by stress. A stressed animal is not a healthy animal and is open to infection. It is believed that it is caused by a virus/bacteria which can manage to take hold of a stressed octopus. This thing eats itself. And this disease attacks itself. It attacks your own tissues and organs. It's the same freaking story. In real life, this really happens. This really happens. And now the number, and so for those of you, numerology, it's demonic, and you don't know what you're talking about. This has nothing to do with demonology. We're connecting the dots is all we're doing. There's no divination involved here. There's no using a Ouija board. I'm not calling upon spirits. I'm showing you things that are real, tangible, numbers. You use them, you write with them. If numbers were demonic, you wouldn't be sitting there with your calculator, with your money in your bank account. It's part of our world. The game of life is fixed. Here are the two guys on the album cover, Julian Lennon and James Scott Cook. That's what they go by on the album cover. I know Julian Lennon has a longer name than that, but this is what they go on to show the world. And that equals the number 101. That's tied to the 44th element, ruthenium. Why am I showing that? Because the length of the song is 4 minutes and 40 seconds, as in 44. How are you to describe this other than what I'm showing you here, the connections? Undeniable. I mean, it'd be one thing if I just showed this and said, yeah, well, that's it. But folks, look at the syncs I'm showing. Here's Lucy's married name, Vaden, according to what I read in the tabloids. That is a total numerology of 44. The song was about her. The length again, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. 44. Folks, you see that? I can see maybe, okay, if you're a producer and you're saying, okay, we have to have your name, Julian, has to be like this. It can't be your full birth name. And James Scott Cook, we have to have it fully like that. It has to be spelled that way because it's got to connect to the 101. Because then we got to connect it to the 44th element, ruthenium, and then we're going to make the song 4 minutes and 40 seconds to match the 44. Do you realize how insane that sounds? Of how many people would have to be in cahoots on this? You realize how crazy that sounds? Folks, man's not doing anything. So now we get into Sgt Pepper versus Lucy, and that's, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was off the album Sgt Pepper. And this thing got released on the 26th of May, 1967. This one was 15 December 2009. What's the timestamp of these two? Here it is, folks. 15,544 days in between. So then we use alchemy. We then take the elements of the periodic table and we match them up with that 15544, which is right here. And then we add them up, their atomic masses right there. We're going to get a total output of 41.047. And again, going back to Manly P. Hall, the great 33rd degree Freemason, once again he says the numbers of Lucifer are 7, 4, 1. Is there a 7 in here? Is there a 4 in here? And is there a 1 in there? I most certainly think so. I know so. There it is. And then when you add up 41 plus 47, you get the number 88. Yttrium, 39. The lady Lucy ODonnell's last name is 39. The song's about her. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is from Lucy and Julian Lennon. It's all connected. All of it. Here is the album, Sgt Peppers Lonely Hearts Club Band. Look at what the numerology is on this. The 119. And my research now is leading me to the planet Pluto on this, and there's going to be more. I'm going to be decoding Pluto, and wait till I show you the syncs on that, the discovery of that, who discovered it, folks. Man's being freaking used. Look at this. It was recorded from 6 December to 21 April. The 6th December card's the Queen Clubs. The 21st of April is the King of Clubs. It's the King and Queen on the chessboard. Now, of course, we could easily say, well, they put those there to match these cards. Yeah, maybe at that level I can definitely agree with you that this can be easily manipulated. This consciously could be done by man. Consciously. But not all these other syncs. No freaking way. No way. And then let's get into the length. Look at the album length. Now, yes, of course, this can be done on purpose. But folks, you're not the producers. They're not writing the songs and the lyrics. And there would have to be a shit ton of work to meticulously have this album end at 39 minutes and 36 seconds. I don't think you could even fathom how you would have to go and what kind of effort you have to put in to get this exactly at 39 and 36 to match these two elements right there. And why these two elements? Let's get into why now. 39 is yttrium. There it is again. There's the 39 subtly in the background. And then the 36 element is Krypton, the home of Superman. 39 plus 36 equals 75. I'm going to show you that in a second, but let's go on to the alchemical aspect of these two. When we add them up, here it is, using the trusty calculator, we get the number 172.817. So these two numbers, 172.817 and this 75. And, here we go, folks. What does it mean to us in the string of pi? Right here, folks. The number 172 appears at the 138th decimal digit of pi. And that's linked to the only element that has the atomic weight of 138. That's lanthanum. And that element is 57. Remember, these two equal 75, the mirror of the 57. And it's found in the string of pi. That has nothing to do with the elements of the periodic table and numerology. Nothing to do with it. Separate. But yet here we are, showing the connections. And remember, lanthanum has 57 protons. Nickel has an atomic weight of 57, and nickel is called devil's copper because the 29th element is copper. Nickel's devil's copper. And Lucifer is 28, matching that of nickel. Lanthanum means to lie hidden. What's hiding in the shadows, folks? It's what's running man, folks. It's what's running mankind. Because there it is. Undeniable. You don't even have to understand what these elements mean. You have to see how these connect, like a puzzle. And then you can see the connections. And see the connections. So I think this is my last slide. Lanthanum in numerology is 34. And then we go back to the string of pi. Look what number is found at the 34th decimal digit of pi. Oh, just the number 88, no big deal. Keep on moving, nothing to see here. Folks, are you serious? Look at what you're seeing right here. This element right here, and it all goes back to Lucy ODonnell and her last name equaling the number 39. So, this lady, Lucy ODonnell, dies from lupus, Lucifer, Lucy. Was she in control of her life at all? Ever? Was it fate? Was it predestination? That means you have no control. Some people believe in predestination. It means you have no control. You don't have any control. See, man is being used. Man's being used, folks. At what level, again, I don't know. So, what is it that you saw during this presentation? What did you see? I'd like to know your comments. On my last Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, I had to block some people. It's my favorite thing to do now because I have no tolerance for people that have ignorance, and I have no tolerance for people that want to argue and tell me I'm wrong, and they just use their words and they don't support it with anything. So if you're one of those kinds of people, just don't refrain from even commenting. I don't even want to hear it. I really don't. Because I'm very rigid and fixed in my ways, but as you can see, I have like almost 100 videos showing the same kind of patterns over and over and over again. Unless you can prove me wrong, well, what can you add to this? I'm looking for people that can add to this whole methodology. And a lot of you are great decoders, and I appreciate all of you. So what is it that you saw during this presentation? So that's all I got for today, folks. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for watching.